Social media is definitely not a new thing. However, it's only recently created an epidemic of sorts. Nearly everyone is on Facebook, even your grandma's pet cat Fluffy. Now, to complicate privacy issues even further, employers are admitting to checking out potential hires' social media pages and using that criteria to assist them in their decision of whether or not to hire. Apparently, there are certain characteristics they look for or don't look for in a future employee. Oh my god, I totally hate my boss. I know, right? Now wait, are you telling me I can't post any more racy photos of my night out binge drinking and status updates complaining about my current employer? The answer to that question is yes and no. At this point, you're probably thinking, what? Well, let me take you into the depths of this ethical issue to give you a better understanding of the legalities of it, what people think about it, and your options to avoid career heartache. It has definitely become a problem in recent years, and many people have been fired over social media incidents. Many employers believe that looking at a job candidate's online presence before hiring them can give them an insight into their future performance at and integration into the company. According to a survey conducted by CareerBuilder, 52% of employers use social networking sites to research job candidates, up significantly from 43% last year and 39% in 2013. Rosemary Hafner, Chief Human Resources Officer at CareerBuilder, says that researching candidates via social media and other online sources has transformed from an emerging trend to a staple of online recruitment. Hafner goes on to say that most recruiters aren't intentionally looking for negatives. 6 in 10, in fact, are looking for information that supports their qualifications for the job, according to the survey. Surprisingly, only 21% admit they're looking for reasons not to hire the candidate. While this doesn't necessarily represent all employers in totality, it is an interesting fact to consider when using social media. Now, a lot of people are taking issue with this ethical dilemma. On the one hand, social media is already opening you up to privacy issues, and by engaging in any social media site, you are somewhat knowingly aware of the risks you are taking. On the other hand, it is scary to think that something as personal as your social media pages, on which you unload your daily stresses and other factors, is going to be subject to critique by your employers and a possible obstacle for you to overcome when trying to get hired. To add insult to injury, not only is this a way for employers to monitor potential hires, but it is also a way for employers to justify possibly firing you from your current job. That's not only scary, but enters into a whole other realm of legal issues and privacy issues. So, where can we draw the line? Well, according to Nancy Flynn of ePolicy Institute, it's harmless. Management has a right and responsibility to monitor how employees are using social media at all times. She believes that if companies aren't looking at this, they might end up facing a number of problems in the long run. She believes it's easy for frustrated employees to go onto their social media and criticize customers, bully their subordinates, and act out in other ways. This can bring workplace tensions and a plethora of problems, such as complaints, that might damage a company's reputation in the marketplace. This can also result in legal or regulatory action against the company, and for that reason, she believes it's all too necessary to continuously monitor employees' social media pages. On the other hand, Louis Maltby of Beth Van Hoven believes it's unnecessary. Yes, employers have a legal right to monitor employee conduct on their work computers. The only time they have a legal duty to do so, however, is if they have reason to believe the employee is engaged in illegal conduct. These policies have been in place for years and have worked well. The majority of what employees do on the internet has nothing to do with work. And even if the monitoring is done after work hours, it shouldn't be something employers hold their employees accountable of unless it truly merits that. Now, the one option you can take to protect yourself from this problem is making your social media pages private. Updating your privacy settings is a must, and in order to protect your content and job, you must constantly maintain your settings to ensure that the policies of that network haven't been changed in any way. Facebook, for example, recently changed their privacy settings, opening numerous individuals to open content that they once believed was protected. So, in order to prevent that problem, you must continuously update your privacy settings. Another definite and foolproof way is to make sure your content is clean, safe for work, and family friendly. It helps to have more work friends in your network and keep any controversial images and shared information out of sight. LinkedIn is a perfect example of this, in that most, if not all, people using it are doing so for networking in a career sense. It's also a great way to keep yourself above any workplace drama, such as communicating with fellow employees about workplace happenings and gossip. This is a demonstration of professionalism to your employer and will gain you some respect in the workplace. Last but not least, a great way to avoid this problem is to avoid social networking altogether. While sites like LinkedIn don't truly fall into this category of harmful social networking, sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are definitely a breeding ground for problems in the workplace. So ultimately, it might be a good idea to avoid social networking if you don't feel like you can clean up your webpage or keep it private consistently. Thank you for watching this video on the ethical issues of social networking and employment and how to protect yourself from them.